Hello, heathens, otakus, and degenerates. It's your boy Roman and Chemistry Anime 343. Back at it once again. And hold on, I have a guest today. I got the Shadow on board.
Hey,
Hey,
so we're talking about Femboys again?
yeah, apparently people aren't actually freaking getting the memo that freaking femboys do exist, and they are not trans characters.
I wish they were treated better.
I know.
Like, I'm not a femboy myself, but I respect them. Hey, Geek Freak.
Hey, Freaky's in the house!
Hey, dude. Yeah, and also, apparently I dropped my phone and caused it to crack the screen.
Oh,
Oh, that sucks.
that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
How much is that going to cost you?
I should be getting it. I actually bought another one for $50, so
Okay, then.
no big loss. But anyway, like I said, it's time for an upgrade anyway.
What'd you get?
It's kind of like this one, but it's actually a Galaxy A03, so
Ah, okay, then.
Yeah.
Hey, a Samsung.
yeah, mine's a Samsung as well, so
Mine's an iPhone SE.
oh, nice. But anyway, I don't actually have the freaking funds to actually get an iPhone or anything like that. All right. Probably might have to send Shiny the link to the stream as well if he wants to come and join. But anyway, I figured we'd actually might talk about not just like about freaking the
I'll let Dio know.
Okay. Yeah, in fact, sadly Dee Dee won't be joining us this week because apparently her grandfather passed
What
away.
happened?
I don't know how he passed, but she apparently told me on Friday that her grandfather passed and she won't be making it this week. And I told her take all the time she needs. Hey, Megan Ian. Excuse me.
Nice.
Thank you. But like I said, people just don't even get the memo that freaking. And hi, Maggie Negan. It's good to actually see you here. People don't understand that freaking femboys do exist, and they do exist here in real life.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Just go and get my food.
Okay. I know. I totally agree, Maggie. There's so much going on, and I just can't freaking comprehend it. That's why I don't tend to talk about freaking real world politics or anything like that on this channel. Because A, it's a freaking annoying little gnat that just won't go away. And B, I just don't like freaking talking about something that doesn't involve anime, manga, video games, comics, or anything of the like. I mean, hey Dwayne, how's it going? And I'm doing good. Just actually dealing with the ebb and flow of life, which everybody should do. But God forbid, since I'm the only one here and still chatting away, kind of hard to wait for anyone else to come forward. And
Sorry, I'm just kind of thinking what to say.
gotcha. Oh, but anyway, like I said, it seems that people are still going after Bridget and Astolfo, saying, "I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that you actually lost your mother passing away." So, hey, take all the time you need, okay? Basically, we all need to actually have, we all need to say our goodbyes and try to actually, make ourselves feel better. So, that's how I look at it. But in all seriousness, it's just like, why can't people just let fictional characters be themselves or create something new? But let me just actually put it like this. J.R.R. Tolkien said it best. Evil doesn't create. It can only corrupt and destroy. That's what we're actually seeing with, with like freaking Star Wars, what we're seeing with Lord of the Rings, what we're seeing with Star Trek.
Modern comics.
I'm back.
Okay.
Well,
We even got Dio.
Cockadoodle pussy!
Hey, Dio! Nice to have you.
Hey. So, how's everyone?
Groovy dude. Woo!
Well, I do apologize. I was busy looking at cute femboys, so.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Alan. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why does it actually have to be all the good ones that we used to grow up with?
Hmm?
According to the Alienator, it turns out the voice actor for Hinata, Stephanie Shea, is actually just doing KV.
Wait, is that one time?
Stephanie Shea is actually apparently a member of KV.
I have no idea who KV is.
Kick Vic.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Why? I mean, I could have just said Kick Vic instead of KV because no one really uses that.
Yeah, that's what the. Yeah, it turns out that she apparently joined Kick Vic. And, I am super fucking pissed. And now
Yeah,
she wants to make the fucking documentary on Vic Mignona.
Yeah, that's absolutely sad because both of these, they were a good individual. But yet, sadly, though, they apparently drink the, soy milk and, well, here we go.
Or should I say the tainted bleach Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Give me a sec, guys. I gotta find, here we go. Shiny. Here we go. Sec. So here we are. Anyway, guys, like I said, freaking people just don't seem to freaking learn that femboys do exist.
Hey, shiny! Woo!
Hey, sorry about the delay.
It's alright.
So, as long as you're here, that's all that matters.
So, anyways, yeah, about the situation with the femboy situation. Yeah,
Oh, no, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought it up. So this isn't the first time the company has decided to play with the whole gender thing. Bridget is not the first one from Guilty Gear, because as we all know, with facts, logic, reasoning, and proof, Japan still considers Bridget a femboy. The person who was saying, "Well, the creator supports him because I have this picture." That he wrote. And the thing is about that one is the creator had no clue what was going on. Like he was absolutely confused as to why he was writing this for Bridget. And lastly, again, he is a takonoko, aka a trap, which is a Japanese culture thing, and Japan
yeah.
is not too pleased with what the
a
West
trap.
is doing. But though, here's the thing. Again, Bridget isn't the first one. Testament. Testament is technically genderless. In his lore, he uses masculine pronouns, but in his lore, he has both of the gears, as in the universe's, magic system, what do you want to call it?
Uh,
So he has,
okay.
so he has both, ports, and yet they took this opportunity to say he's non-binary. No,
Oh
he's
God.
genderless. and he still uses male pronouns. But again, this isn't the first, and I'm pretty sure this will not be the last Saturday, because these people are gun ho on erasing feminine men as well as masculine women, all for the sake of their supposed representation, when yet it's absolutely a joke at the end of the day. Because I made a post last Friday, or well, you get the idea. Last Friday, this Friday, whatever. Actually, no, last Friday. Today's Monday. Never mind. Never mind. So last Monday, yeah, last Friday, I made a post about Femboy Friday, saying, "Hey, it's Femboy Friday," and I had a picture of Astolfo and
Okay.
Felix. Well, the issue is, people. I got 430 likes, but people who had no business being on my post was like, actually, Bridget is a girl because the localization said so. And it's like, no. First of
Does the
all,
localization even matter?
But
no.
the point is that let's call localization vocalizations.
Oh yeah, because first of all, that's the bad ending. The tech, and I love how they say, is there no such thing as a bad ending? That's a secondary ending. Still, it's not the main ending. You want it to be the good ending, the true ending. You want it to be the scriptures that we have to abide by. But I have bad news for you. We're not going to bend a knee and accept this batshit insane bullshit that you want to erase femboys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if Dawn were here, she'd actually tell you the same freaking thing.
Yes, the glorious supreme empress.
Yeah, the only thing is, let's say this is like it's all because these these wokies keep trying to take over the LGBT community and try to take everything from that's not their own because they claim it as theirs, just like what happened with the Splatoon community. To be honest.
Oh, that's what's funny about that is it's like I watched Dimitri Monroe's latest video. I highly recommend you guys watch it too. But though they'll talk about how
Could
how
you give us a link?
well, yeah, sure. But he was talking about how this isn't about reputation. This is about representation. Sorry, representation. This is about points. Notice how when you look at the Fate series, they are pointing at Astolfo. Meanwhile, Chevalier Dion, a saber, is what you would consider a trans because they at least ask you what gender do you think they are, etc., etc. There's something that's there compared to Astolfo, who flat out says, "I'm a dude. I'm my own man. I am a male." The only time he ever uses the terms female or whatever is when he's being cute, which is a thing that the Otokonoko subculture in Japan likes to do. And these people, they don't care. Since Dion isn't a popular character, they don't care about her. They are focusing on Astolfo, the popular character, just like with One Piece. For those who aren't caught up with the manga or anime, I'm going to keep this, as um, spoiler free as possible. But there's a character in there who is a woman, and she idolizes a certain other character who is the hero. Now, she idolizes him to the point that she uses his pronouns, mind you. Not only that, but though she even calls his son
All right.
her son.
All
Also,
right.
we actually lost Ruby King because apparently his Twitter got suspended. Apparently,
Oh,
Mm.
I think it's a bunch of these kick Vic idiots.
What? Wait, what happened to Ruby?
he actually got his account suspended on Twitter.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it has to do with how kick Vic kind of went too far since he was talking about Vic.
But one thing I do want to throw out there, though, is when it comes to One Piece, there is two trans characters that they don't talk about. There's a trans woman that is in the same arc as the female who I'm, talking about that they claim is a trans man, but they're not talking about that one because she's not popular or cool. And there's another trans woman who is a giant, legit giant, and has a Fu Manchu and is fat, and they're not talking about that representation because they don't want it. It's like, no, we want the cool character. We want the popular character that everybody likes.
I mean, heck, Astolfo is the reason why I got into Apocrypha.
Yeah. Even though, like, with all the fanboy situation, and it's all because, and it's also because I say one thing for sure that they say, oh, Sylveon is a training Pokemon. No, it's not. It's just a Pokemon, to be honest.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I mean, Dawn even mentioned this as well, where she was like, it was that one post where someone was like, well, taking Bridget was a big W, but we won't succeed until we take our Starfo. And it's like, they're not Pokemon. They're Femboys. They exist. Get over it.
It's like, seriously, these people need to stop stealing things from us, just like how commies like to steal things and claim it as theirs.
And again, mind you, Femboys have nothing to do with trans people.
Yeah.
It's literally a subculture of guys who like to dress as girls, and that's it. But for whatever reason, these people are like, no, I want this. I want this to be my representation because, well, I have no life, and I need validation.
Yeah, it's all because it's just they want fish out for clout.
Yeah, that again, there you go. It's not about representation. It's about points. It is about them being basically Pokemon, and they gotta catch them all. They gotta like, okay, this character who's a pretty boy, we gotta make him into a non-binary, and this character who's a femboy, we gotta change him to trans woman. And by the way, these are the same people who would sit there and say, "Oh, we need to destroy the gender norms and the gender roles." Well, here we are trying to do just that, but you're over here going, no, if a boy plays with a My Little Pony action figure, they have to transition. If a girl plays with a Transformers toy, they have to transition. It's like, wait a minute, how are we supposed to be breaking any gender norm if you were sitting here saying, no, you need to be male or female?
Yeah, it's kind of like ridiculous, to be honest. They don't know it's just behavior, not gender.
Yeah, and it's like they demand it. They don't ask what they demand. Because again, I just posted something that's Happy Femboy Friday, something for the followers and everyone like that. But these people, they slithered onto the post saying things like, actually, Bridget is, and that there's one clown that was like, Astolfo is actually non-binary. It's like, no. No.
No.
What are you doing on my post? Like, what the hell are you doing on my post? This isn't about you. This isn't for you. This is for people who have common sense, which you severely lack, and for
And-
people who like femboys.
And not just only they just want brownie points. You know how these activists trying to invade these bases is because the point is they just want to recruit more people to join their stupid cause.
Oh, by the way, speaking of activism, so I've seen this one article saying how it's hard for oh no, okay, so what it read was the activists, the LGBT activists, is what's hurting the LGBT community.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because, yes, that is the exact truth. Again, you have these individuals who are like, I demand you to know my pronouns. I demand you to use them. I demand you to respect me. I demand you to know that guess what? I'm bisexual, but guess what? I'm not going to say it out loud. Why? It's none of your damn business if I'm bi or not. I want you to see me as a human being, not some damn whatever these wokies are going for. Because these SJWs, they'll say, "Hi, my pronouns are blah and blah, and you have to say that or else. And my name is Bob, and it's like no." If you look like if Mr. A started saying he identifies as a frog, well, I'm going to no longer be on the stream because clearly you are insane. Now, if you were saying if you're a trans woman, then you would have to at least dress the part. Because guess what? Trans people, trans men and women, they try to look the part. They try to pass, basically. But
Yeah.
then you have these other supposed trans who are just guys with full-on beards like Mr. A here, who just wear a tutu and say, "I'm trans now. Let me use the girls' bathroom." Right?
I'd actually shave my out of spite.
Hey, what,
Just-
Mr. A?
Like I was saying, basically, anyone actually did that, like actually had a beard like mine, shave my own beard out of spite. Because basically, they had to go on and ruin the fucking face.
Oh, and
What?
by the way, one thing I do want to throw out there too. One thing is I don't know how to really start this as a conversation, but does anyone here know of the YouTuber by the name of Dark Wing Dork?
Nope.
Nope.
I envy you so fucking much because you know how YouTube is. Because you watched this video, why not watch this one? And well, I know who this guy is. Mind you, the guy in question is not the issue. His content is the issue. You see, Darkwing Dork, he reviews internet cringe and really effed up things. I don't want to get into details, but just know I can go from furries being Quinty Woo to Snake Thing and Sangi. Or Sangi. How do you say that freak's name? Don't ask and don't look up those people because you will regret it. But
Hold on. Maggie Negan asked, just curious about me, how long you're growing the beard? And I'm like, well, basically, I just actually prefer having it as, because, I've actually had this ever since, ever since the pandemic started.
Yeah.
wait, really? I kind of
Yeah.
thought you had that for longer. Wow. Okay, but anywho, as I was saying though, when it comes to the content that I've seen, so you know how these assholes are all about lolicons or bad because blah 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 blah. Well, one video that I was watching, from this guy, he does live streams of cringe and effed up shit, and he was talking about how not he was reviewing these three topics: Zooier Than Thou, Maps IRL, which, mind you, those two channels are legit and are on YouTube. Mind you, yet again, if I was to dedicate a channel to hentai or porn, I would get banned as soon as possible. But Zuya Than Thou and Maps IRL get to, exist here on the platform. I don't know why, but here we are, I guess. Anyway,
They should be shot.
Why there it
I
gets
mean,
Yeah.
This is why Canada is so freaking bass backwards. According to
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Foods around kids.
yeah,
That's
that should
basically
be
child
illegal.
abuse, to be honest.
You suck, Canada.
But what I was about to say though, what I was about to say was so the thing, first of all, these people want to play the hero, the white knight, and all this and that, right? And yet here you have Zuya Than Thou and Maps IRL being an actual thing, and they're not going after them. They're not trying to ban them to get rid of them or nothing. And Mr. A, you have someone behind. Wait, no, never mind. Sorry. Never mind.
Isn't
Okay.
that right?
No, I thought your door was open at first. I'm not really at my computer. I'm kind of just standing in the back here. But okay, never mind. But as I was saying, the really effed up thing about these two channels is how the people on them talk nonchalantly about the things that they do. Like the map channel, for instance. They were talking about how they went the 7 subhumans, I mean maps, in a car, and they went to this resort where I don't know what it was, where it was at, but it's one of those places where you can go to hear someone do a public speech about whatever.
Yeah.
Well, apparently someone was talking about, well, maps, and they were talking about this shit as it was a normal human conversation. And what's really effed up is one of these little subhuman cretins were like, oh, there was this one person who had an issue with it, and they were like, "Oh my god, did you hear what they were saying? They're so disgusting." And I'm like, "Bitch, I'm proud. I have it on my tattooed on my ass. You want to see it?" And mind you, mind you, mind you,
Sorry.
one of the guys, one of these little other subhuman creatures was like, "Oh wait, you have your map tattooed on your ass?" And they're like, "Yeah, I like mentioning it. That's why I said it." It's like, first of all, what I assume happened in that transaction with the tattoo artist and the subhuman was the tattoo artist didn't know what a map was. Maybe to them, hearing they want the word map tattooed on their ass, it's like, oh wow, this person really loves maps. Maps. That's in what you use to get to places, right? I mean,
No,
I hope that's what it was. But it's just absolutely disgusting with how they talked about it as if it was a normal human conversation. And the SJWs, the left, the idiots who
Yeah.
are like lolicons, how come you're not going after these monsters?
Yeah.
These are the real.
It's because they're too afraid, or they're just being following what their pedal lords are saying.
Well, yeah, there you go. There you
they
go.
just really see like
The thing is, can I say
so
something?
freaking law-abiding citizens, but it's like that one dude that was actually starting to go after Resta's Desu Grimsey, that Leafy clone, saying that, oh, I actually have more respect for actual kitty diddlers over lolicons.
I guarantee you, he's probably watching Maps IRL and is a big fan and supporter of them.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you want to go freaking further, freaking he watches cuties.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
there you
think
go.
so.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise, because again, these people want to pretend to be the heroes, and yet here you have real people, subhumans. I'm sorry, I don't feel sympathy or anything towards maps or zoophiles, and if you are that, you are a subhuman piece of shit,
Yeah,
and
and
you deserve no respect.
the
Here,
point
here.
is, all those pedophiles and zoophiles deserve to get shot in the head.
Oh, his was funny. His was hilarious. Now,
I can hear that.
while yes, cancer is a serious thing and we shouldn't mock it, but this is the only exception. So, in Zuya Than Thou, alright, it's two podcasters. All I know is this one called Puggles the Rat, I believe, and Puggles the Rat has like a little bitch voice, and he had a
Yeah.
friend who um was a Zuya Than Thou, so you know what happens.
Yep.
But so he died.
With a freaking little burner.
And
Actual,
not to
put him in the wood chipper.
yep.
Yeah, there you go.
And not
But
to mention, let's say one more thing. It's also those idiots who defended the pedophiles and zoophiles. They deserve the same death sentence as the zoophiles and the pedos.
he died
Hi.
of prostate cancer, which again, this is the only time it is appropriate to laugh at because of what this freak of nature was.
Yeah. The
But
point is,
in all seriousness, guys, basically, freaking, like I said, bullies are just citizens. We don't actual people. We just prefer looking at like fictional characters.
Yeah, they're
Fic-
fictional characters.
Characters.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's again, lollies and shotas are just cartoons. They're not real. And mind you, by the way, that it's like what I brought up before. It's like what I brought up before, and I'll bring it up again. You could literally make fucking Rugrats Rule 34, and even though we can all agree that would be messed up as hell, it
Yeah.
still means nothing because it's a cartoon. These are fictional characters. This didn't happen. But yet, the cuties, that did happen. That was made by a bunch of fucking, subhuman filth.
Yeah.
Of all places.
How they managed to get that thing on Netflix is beyond me. I mean, I don't know. Ugh.
Which, by the way, what made it even more bad is the fact that, these people, these activists, they didn't walk out during that fiasco, but when Dave Chappelle made a joke, they walked out maddy waddy. And it's like, wait.
Just the thing. Only like a small percentage of people walked out of Netflix. Started protesting, but it's like a small, minute part of Netflix, but everybody else in Netflix just was like business as usual.
But one thing I do want to point out, though, is the fact that these, again, subhuman filth, they want to make what pisses me off, and I know I can't speak on behalf of Dee Dee and any other LGBT member who is sane. What pisses us off is these disgusting subhumans wish to slither into the LGBT community, and I got bad news for you. You have no place. The only place you have is in hell. The furthest place in hell.
Hang on, guys. Maggie Negan asks, is there an anime I should avoid, you guys?
Well, no, I mean, it depends on your taste, to be honest.
Well, no, there's really no anime you shouldn't avoid. Unless if it's like your taste.
I mean, if you don't like a certain thing, then avoid that one. I will say this, what anime you should be watching, which is really good, is Vermeil in Gold.
Yeah, I definitely keep an open mind when it comes to certain anime. So
yeah. So let's continue back with since we gotta move on from the Femboy situation. We need to talk about all this co-fan backlash.
Oh wait, one last thing though. One last thing with this. So on Twitter, the cesspool of stupid and whatever else as it is, on Twitter, the account by the name of Gays and Trans Against Groomers has been banned. Yeah. Mind you, they are against groomers, but yet there are people who post actual CP, and Twitter's like, it's not a violation against any of the rules.
And not to mention, well, they're back again, but they changed the word broomers instead of groomers because they don't want to get hit by the strike.
Yeah, but then give it some time because then you have to say, oh, you can't say broomers anymore. You can't say, you can't call the bad guys out. You have to let them, groom children and do as they please.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Basically, they want to make a safe haven for the subhumans that are in Maps IRL.
In fact, here's the reason why Maggie Negan actually brought it up. She says, because I don't want to watch any TV stars in it. Basically, my own suggestion is
Ratchet subbed.
What's that?
Just watch it subbed.
I know. Just can Mr. A say continue what he's saying?
I was actually saying try watching the subs instead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Shao, don't
besides,
be interrupted.
and besides, when I look all the situation, what's going on Twitter, with KV, they didn't win anything. They just end up coping and getting a lot of backlash.
Well, oh, by the way,
Basically, freaking Serto. It's called the Twiddler for Predators.
yeah, there you go.
Twiddlers.
That's a good one.
Hold on. That's
Twiddlers.
Yep, I'm here now. I can join now.
Hey, Sano.
Welcome.
Hey.
Yeah, as I said, call them either twiddlers or predators, and spell it with the Reddit, the whole Redditor thing.
Yeah. Which is absolutely hilarious because it's true. I mean, again, you want to get rid of the word groomer and people who stand against them,
And
but yet you're going to keep the actual CP lovers.
what's funny is that when you talk about twiddlers and predators, it actually associates them with the platforms that banned them. It actually associates them with Twitter and Reddit, which are the first two platforms to introduce this nonsense. So, yeah, if I think that these groomers should be associated with Twitter and Reddit, specifically their moderation staff.
Yeah, like we should put these subhumans on full blast. And again, I don't care if people get mad that I call CP and bestiality freaks subhuman. I'm sorry, but you're disgusting. You should be ashamed. And you
Yeah.
are not going to get any respect. You don't deserve any respect.
Yeah, and honestly, I like this idea of coming up with new terms in a viral way that, so even like where if you call someone that like either predator or twiddler, where they would actually know, people would know what that means, but they would take, it takes time for them to update their bots.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that because of the whole corporate bureaucracy,
Yeah.
it does take time for even though if it was like it was a single person making the decisions, they could just do it in a flash, but they can't because there's corporate bureaucracy that they have to follow within their structure of their corporate structure. So every time they do this, every time they ban one term, we should come up with another, and I think we should associate with the platform in some way, like Twiddler, for example. Twiddler and Predator for Twitter and Reddit respectively, because it associates these nasty people with the platform itself. So so we can attack them at the same time as counter. It's like a counterattack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because honestly, they should be associated with the platform that protects them.
Yeah.
Also, 8-Bit Shinobi, he says, I think the SJW movement is dying.
Slowly,
good.
yes.
Slowly,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it has died. I think it's died out at the bottom. But the thing is that now it's being applied top down rather than
Yeah.
bottom up like it was in the early 2010s.
Well,
These people got into power, and the people. I think there's a lot of people that are starting to wake up and get out of it. But it's being applied top down now because these idiots have gotten into the corporate structure.
Yeah,
And plus,
the problem is,
I think BlackRock has a lot to do with it.
yeah, and the problem is, of all this, SJW situation happened, this insanity after what happened 2012 when these idiots believe, the end of the world didn't happen, and they want to try to change something to control people's minds.
2012 was the end of the world. It was the end of not of the physical. It was the end of the internet as we know it.
Yeah.
Because that's when they started the slow march towards censorship that we're seeing now.
And what's funny is I did not know anything about the SJWs until 2016. And what's funny is I came across it's your boy Zach doing a comic review of Gay Iceman, and I didn't know any of the terms or anything. But then later it was someone reviewing the Ghostbusters 2016, and then the Star Wars, and it's like, wait, This is what the fuck, wokies are. This is SJWs, just a bunch of basement drilling losers, which they have evolved. They've evolved to what they are now, where they can have power, like what Cerno was saying. They have control.
You
And
wanna know
here's the
something?
other
You wanna
thing.
know something?
They wouldn't have as much power if Twitter didn't go public in 2013, because I think that's the problem. Is every single one of these companies that has from these
Exactly.
Silicon Valley companies is a publicly traded company. This is the problem with publicly traded companies, is that they always get woke because BlackRock buys a big share, Vanguard buys a big share, and they force this ESG bullshit down their throats.
Hmm. And again, it was nothing back then, because it's just, they just said this or that, or censored a little this.
Things didn't start going downhill until like 2014. Actually, December of 2015 was like the point of no return. But the thing that was starting to erode our freedoms was when like Twitter I think the real problem was for Twitter is when they had their IPO, because that allowed these ESG companies to just buy shares in them and basically take control of it. That's why I think Jack Dorsey was forced to implement these censorship, because BlackRock and Vanguard had big stakes.
Yeah, it's true. And not to mention, the thing is, with all this SJW infiltration, all this root started because of Anita Sarkeesian had to like basically talk about feminist frequency and all the chain happened.
Yeah, I think that it all started with Anita Sarkeesian is the one person that got the ball rolling by crying victim and being a crybaby. And then I think what happened is, I think this was all pre-planned. Like, they already had this in place. They just needed the spark. And Anita Sarkeesian was the spark to light the fuel on fire.
And not to mention, not only that, it's because that's what happened with Occupy Wall Street went extinct, because they try and plan to get rid of Occupy Wall Street with
Yeah, the SJWs is how they got rid of that. Yeah, and they basically took over the identity politics. And I honestly, I think it was a Chinese op from the very beginning. I think China and the Confucius Institutes got into the colleges and basically turned the left into what they are now.
I think it's not really much of a Chinese op, it's more like a globalist op.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to say, though, is just, it's absolutely annoying how.
And they got into comics, and that's why they're getting into comics and stuff. And they got into comics, they got into video games, now they're trying to get into anime. Japan is having a fierce resistance. That's why I think I think that attacking anime is why they flipped on pedophilia. Like, Salon used to be they used to all be all in on that. But I think they flipped because they want to get rid of anime first, and they have to have an angle to attack it on. And I think lolly is the perfect excuse, moral grandstanding issue to attack anime on. So once anime falls, they'll just flip right back to being pro-pedo once anime falls.
Yeah,
That's the thing is look, if that's the UN part of the globalist scheme.
Let me add something to actually counter that point. Have you forgotten that we've actually elected Ken Akamatsu into the Diet? And he used to be a former mangaka, and he's doing his damn best to actually not only fight for freaking...
That's what I mean. Japan is fighting back against it. But the problem is that the U.S. is that there's people in the U.S. trying to push for legal censorship of anime. They're I think it's a foot in the door.
Yeah. And not just that, but one thing to also note is, if they're not, trying to push censorship, they're, localizing it or vocalizing it.
Yep.
Again, the whole Bridget thing, where Bridget is a femboy at the end of the day, but they're
that's your typical SJW bullshit. Is that they can't control the original content, so they have to get into the Western branches and vocalize it to make it so that they can take it away from us, even though they would prefer to control it in Japan. But Japan they're gonna have a harder time infiltrating Japan, because they lose the Japanese audience along with the Western audience. These companies can't stay afloat, and then they'll just go under. And the companies know it.
What's funny is every time
they have to at least keep their core Japanese audience, which is why they can't really control the companies in Japan unless it's a company with a big global audience that has other properties to sustain itself, like Sony, Capcom, and all the big ones.
Yeah.
They can stay afloat without their Japanese audience.
He went bankrupt already.
And not just that, but again, though, the only reason why GC and Marvel are saying, "Oh, see, comics are still doing fine," is because you're basing it on the manga and graphic novel sales. But the comics themselves aren't doing jack shit because who the fuck wants to read Ma'am, right? Who wants to read what was that dumbass comic, Mom, Mother of Madness? The superheroine whose powers come with her time of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, Ken Akamatsu, I think he actually wants to reform. He's actually more of like what I would say what my views on copyright align. Like, even though he wants like overzealous enforcement, here's the thing: he wants to change the actual copyright itself to where if to make it more of to bring it back to it being a way for artists to make money, like an incentive for money rather than an actual property right, because copyright was never meant to be a property right back in the day. It was meant to be an incentive, a temporary incentive. But yet, because of mostly Disney pushed it into being basically brainwash people over time into it being a property right, which it's not. It's a temporary incentive.
Yeah.
It's a transferable temporary incentive, basically. It can be sold like property, doesn't mean it's property, because it's granted by the government, basically.
And
what the government giveth, the government can take it away. That's my view.
And then
it's not a natural right.
And also, the only thing Japan need to do something is basically try to make sure if any Western licenses trying to get in hold of the anime, if they ruin it, the only thing is they'll be pulled out.
And the thing is, Ken Akamatsu has this view on things like where you should not be able to vault things, like where you can just put things in a vault and basically make it so it's like doesn't exist because copyright's so long that the only copies would be destroyed by the time the copyright expired. Yeah, because the length. Instead, because as far as Ken Akamatsu wants to make it so that you can't just hold things away from the public because just by simply not wanting to sell it. Like if you if it was sold once and you just stopped selling it, and basically he wants to make it so that again, where copyright's supposed to be a tool to make money, not a way to keep things away from certain people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And not just that, but though they want to sit there and act as if they are the victim. They have mastered being the victim. Because every time you say this sucks or this wasn't good, they'll turn around and go, well, you don't like it because of X, Y, Z. And it's like, no, I don't like it because it sucks.
I have a recommendation for Ken Akamatsu, but I need someone who would translate it into Japanese for me.
Yeah.
Legalize the use of Monero in the anime and manga industry. Make it so it's explicitly legal to use Monero for that, because Visa, as I said, it's a way to hedge against Visa and MasterCard trying to dictate things.
Yeah.
Because once they can't control it in the industry, within the industry, they're going to have outside influence, like from the payment processors.
And one thing I also want to throw out there too is the whole when Crunchy Woke bought Right Stuff Anime and they just got rid of
They
the
basically
whole
again
what business
Right,
what business do you have getting rid of this when this was meant for a certain demographic? I can understand if you want it to be like an under an 18 thing or whatever, but you are sitting here like, no, you're not allowed to have it because it's against my views. That's the whole SJW thing. They demand to have their views seen, and for all of us to sit down, put our heads down, and shut the fuck up. And they don't care about no one else but themselves. Mind you, these are the people who will sit there pointing at a Latino and a Filipino and say, hey, you gotta use an X, which, fun fact, X's don't exist in Filipino culture. So,
Yeah.
but if I or you or anyone else was to make sushi with a, country southern twist, we would be cultural appropriating. But when they do it, it isn't cultural appropriating. Just like when they will sit there and say femboys need to use words like rose boy and fairy boy. If you use fairy boy, you might as well just say the F word or butt pirate or some bullshit like that, because it's as offensive as you trying to say anything else.
All right, but so what Mr. Anime posted, like what Maggie says, is like the comment.
Okay, hold on. Maggie Negan says, like, I'm going to say this to you guys. We've seen a lot of male predator characters, but never female-only alien queens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To the franchise, is there an issue, or is it because issue?
To be fair, I don't think there's really a body type, if you will, for predators. I mean, when it comes to the aliens, you know, they do have their own version of what the queen looks like, which is kind of based off of an ant in a way. And you got with predators, I think they are all, you know, the same. Like that they don't do boobies or whatever.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
aren't they more of a warrior race or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then here's the thing with, these people keep thinking about nasty thoughts, calling lolicon pedos, or they look at, how men are. They need to stop looking so much on
Yeah.
ugly pastor porn, or basically they need to stop looking at those horror shows that resemble these type of guys.
Well, I mean, not
And
just
then-
that, but instead of focusing on, you know, cartoons that don't exist, they should focus on, you know, getting rid of Maps IRL and
Actually, here's the thing. Here's the thing: is that these same people were actually pro pedo before they decided to attack anime. They're only anti pedo out of convenience.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what's
true.
kind of scary is that they're only anti pedo out of convenience because they have to get rid of anime. Once they've got rid of anime and basically either banned or heavily regulated anime, because what they're trying to do is that the whole lolly thing is a gateway to government censorship, like Australia.
That's true.
And once they have that, they're going to go back to being pro pedo, just like they were.
And
Yeah.
mind you, by the way,
They just want to get rid of anime, and once they've destroyed anime and wokified it or banned it, then they're going to go back to being pro pedo like they were back then.
Shadow, can I stop you for a second? That's not gonna really happen. You know how Japan is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they won't destroy it. They probably won't be able to destroy it in Japan, but they might be able to basically shut down the Western distribution of it.
Forget. Also, if I can interject here, guys, not forget we also have the First Amendment here in the U.S. Freedom of religion, assembly, petition, speech.
Look.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
This is what I'm trying to also say as well. Since I post my art on the hellspawn of Satan named
Yeah.
Reddick.
There is a limit to what they're going to be able to get away with
Yeah.
censorship. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on.
what's absolutely hilarious is when they censor stuff, it's okay. But if we were to censor stuff like, you know, censor LGBT or whatever, they would have an issue. And it's like, we're just doing the same thing.
I mean,
you're
no
doing.
doubt anything that they tried to do at the government level as far as censoring anime, a lot of it would get struck down. Because I mean, video games they like back when the right was trying to censor video games, California had passed a law and it was struck down by the Supreme Court. So
Yeah.
a lot of what they do and the thing is, it takes years for it to get up to the Supreme Court, and in that meantime, all the businesses that support anime in the U.S. would be shut down in the meantime, because it takes time for it to go through the courts. And they know this. They know it takes time.
Oh yeah, that's why I find it more funny. If
It's the same thing with gun laws, honestly.
Yeah,
Oh,
speaking of the laws, freaking, what about that whole freaking debacle with the appeals court in Vic Mignona? That was actually just
Yeah, that was bad, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this is the thing: is that when it when it comes, it's like the same thing with gun laws. When it comes to like anything like constitution, anything that's unconstitutional, that they'll do it just to destroy the businesses that deal in it, because it takes time for any kind of lawsuit, any type of thing to get up to the Supreme Court, and that's I think that's what they're banking on is eventually it would get overturned. Honestly, that might actually be a good thing if they try that, because if it wipes out the current anime industry in the West and then it gets overturned by the Supreme Court, and then a new industry can pop up, we could take that, we could seize that opportunity and take back the industry because
Yeah.
they all the
I like the sound of that.
businesses that are all the existing businesses would be shut down, so we could start from scratch.
So here's the funny thing. There is also a demographic for someone like myself who make art when it comes to, well, lottie characters. I mean, I do lewd lottie art, but every now and then I do.
Yeah.
Well, mostly I mean lottie art.
If they get their way, just
Yeah.
take commissions in Monero and just go on the dark web, I guess.
Oh,
Here's the thing, though.
Gosh,
Well, let me say this. Like, so recently, on both the artwork I just recently did with the one I'll see right here, Sizu. I recently hit. Let's see. On one, I hit 130. No, damn it. 34, 30 upvotes, and another one I hit up 140 upvotes, and I'm just like, maybe I could try to convince more people to not necessarily to hate Lottie, don't hate Lottie, but like Lottie. But slowly but surely, like the sword the button fog effect, right? Boy and fog effect.
Yeah.
Just slowly but surely
So
get more people to like Lottie.
Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of this is that people were
Yeah.
just scared. I think a lot of the people were just scared to admit that they like that kind of thing. And I think people like Alice C. Alucard have basically just blown the heck out of the people attacking them. And now I think they're getting I think our side is getting bolder now that you got people like Alice C. Alucard and a few other VTubers that Kyoto is one of them.
yeah.
She might not have a lolly model anymore, but people came to her rescue, and she was able to stand up to the people like Elle and them.
See, it's even more funny when I also noticed like there are people like, despite the fact that people was attacking me this week, all because I was using Kakotsupai when it comes to my art, there are actually a lot of people who supported me for doing said things with my OCs, especially the ones that said, well, since they're lotties anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if there's enough people on our side that actually that grow a backbone and a spine, there's nothing they can do because there's too many of us. I think they're just a bunch of Tumblrites.
I mean, remember, guys.
The only thing we have to do is prevent them from getting any kind of political office. That should be our goal.
Remember, our opponents are a bunch of morbidly obese, rainbow-haired, neck-bearded, virgin, basement-dwelling losers.
All right, that's the long name.
Basement is basically an ozone of hair dye.
All right.
Wait, Dino, but here's the thing. Let me interject on that regards. They're getting smarter. If we keep constantly attacking the way we had to do, we had to be smart as well.
Oh my God, they're evolving.
What do you mean they're getting smarter?
Think about it. The whole bullshit with Facebook and Steam and on.
Oh yeah, because they're now infiltrating, similar to what the SJWs did. Yeah. They're infiltrating these. They're going after the PC gaming. What we need is a parallel. I don't think we can rely on Steam anymore. We need to get these companies, Japanese developers, to start their own service or go on to and the problem is that Steam doesn't have they don't have the viewership of Steam. So I guess what they need to do is get a censored version onto Steam and have an uncensored version elsewhere that people can buy.
Didn't a Japanese game do that? Like you could. Oh yeah, it was the massage game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Steam. That's the thing with Steam is they and honestly what the excuse they're using is obscenity laws. So if we can get rid of obscenity laws, they won't have that excuse anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say as well, because it's like, it's bullshit. Like, even, which is a good example. Like, I remember at one point in the past, like, certain discourse or comments, certain subreddits would lose their shit about swimsuit. They would pull the whole, oh, well, they're seen that they're skinny, they look like minors. I'm like, motherfuckers, it's swimsuits. Like,
what's funny is that the left is doing this, and the law that they're trying to use is a right-wing theocratic law. So it's kind of like they're using the right kind of set themselves up on that one.
Yeah, not one. What's the percentage?
Because of their moralism.
Well, freaking it turns out that freaking Texas is trying to get rid of the freaking mob schools.
They're trying to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of overreaction there. I blame the whole SJ. I blame what the SJWs are putting in there.
Wait, the
Mind you,
manga.
by the way,
Wait, hold on a
mind
second.
you, they have an
Wait.
issue with manga, but yet they don't have an issue with what these SJWs are making, which is basically softcore.
Well, I think
TT.
they're I think what's happening is they're trying to do a clean sweep of that stuff, of those stuff that SJ, but they're catching manga in the dragnet.
And here's the thing.
Something I've been afraid of is that our the efforts to go after the SJWs in schools are gonna expose quote unquote manga, and they're gonna try and prosecute.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's kind of funny. When I was in high school, I used to read manga and we used to have books for anime publishers. Now you have these stupid SJWs be like, oh, let's ban manga because it's fucking bad. Like, thank God I graduated high school in 2014.
Well, no, I think what the target of the purge is actually the main target is the stuff the SJWs are making and putting into schools, like stuff that's really shouldn't be in, that should not, like
Yeah.
these the things that these SJWs are making to try and turn kids into SJWs by indoctrinating them when they're young.
Mhm.
See, and that's the problem that kind of gives them a nice nose with a lot of the woke stuff. Is that
Yeah,
they do
the
keep
woke.
tempting fate. They keep tempting fate. Like, that's all they do all
They
the
keep
time.
tempting fate, and then what happens is when after they keep tempting fate, they end up getting into a bad turn. To be honest.
No, it's
Yeah,
like,
and the thing is that our stuff is getting caught up with it. When it's the thing, there's this idea that hentai and stuff is left wing. It's not left wing.
not
It's
really
apolitical.
Yeah.
political.
And I just have one more
It's
thing.
the problem is the stuff that the left wing, that the political left wing stuff is doing.
Oh.
And then us apolitical people get caught up in it because the right sees that stuff as lewd and therefore left wing.
Oh, who remembers a couple of years ago when the mom, aka the poor clutching Karen, was complaining about, oh, my daughter was reading this manga
Dragon Maid.
called Dragon Maid.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Can you imagine this woman was bitching about me?
What
I-
was funny? What's funny is the mother literally said, "My daughter came to me saying, I know you don't like this kind of stuff." I guarantee you that's an absolute lie. I guarantee you, little Susie or Susan, I think it was a teenage girl anyway,
Yeah.
knew full well what she was reading, and mommy just came in and was like,
See,
"My little poo poo bear is reading such filth. Oh,
See-
my sweet honey, I
And you
see."
know,
This is why I despise religion.
and here's the thing.
All of our our views on sex is basically driven by religion at this point. I mean, it's
And
been
he-
for
Yeah.
centuries.
May I suggest that we should actually make our own religion?
No,
no,
Yeah.
real religion. Look,
Wait.
the problem is this religious fanaticism has been going on for
Yeah.
centuries, for over
Well,
over a century since the Victorian era, and it's got.
Why
Well,
not?
all right, let's
it be
continue.
the
Around
religion of
But one thing I
boobies
do want to
and
point out,
butts?
though, the whole kind of branch off of religion for one moment, is when I was talking about with these trans people who are demanding that femboys be transitioned and all this and that. What's going to happen is they're going to make more hate, and it's not going to come from the religious students who believe that we're only LGBT because Satan lives in our butthole.
Yeah.
No, it's because of you people are going to bring out more hate from people who are either curious about the community or just normal people who just want to chill and relax. You're going to bring out hate where it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Your-
Honestly, because of what's going on in the schools, I fear for trans people. They're gonna become under such a harsh attack because of what the activists are doing in the
Yeah.
specifically in schools.
It's
Yeah,
true.
because
With
again,
the whole drag queen thing and all that. That's good. I already see people turning, like, saying that trying to. I already see people generalizing that about all trans people when that's just not the case. It's
No, it's not.
only
Yeah.
it's only just a select few loud activists spreading this bullshit, and now all trans people are going to be lumped in with them. That's not something I want.
no,
I really hope all my trans friends are going to be safe.
yeah, there you go.
I'm an
Because again, what's going
libertarian.
because it's like I said, the LGBT activists are giving us all a bad name. The whole LGBT community, they're giving us all a bad name. And what's going to happen is, again, the nice people who don't really care about the whole, issue are going to start having an issue whenever someone says they're, gay or whatever. So, jeez, one of these freaks. God.
Oh no.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Anyway, guys, like I said, this is why I'm an apolitical libertarian because even if you're actually sitting on the sidelines, they'll still attack you for something stupid.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You're
And
not
that's
Yeah,
the thing.
it's either you're with me or against me.
Oh no,
And it's just dumb.
especially the worst thing for me. I'm on their side, like the Republicans, and I'm like, look at these people like dipshit. You're literally cannibalizing your own people. You fucking idiots.
As for me, I choose potential people who are gonna be my side, regardless.
Yeah, honestly, though, if I just want to say one thing, and I know it's may not be the type of thing that basically. Have you ever heard of the term snatching defeat from the jaws of victory?
Oh
No.
yeah.
Well, every time the Republicans delve into moralism and enforcing morality from the federal level and stuff like that, it backfires horribly, and the crazies take back power.
No, it's like a good example right here. What I just put in private chat. It's like I'm like, look at these people. Like, dude, you keep surrounding people when it comes to I don't know, artists, people like Lotties and on. It's like you're gonna miss and regret it because
people honestly in this day and age being because being anti-porn means being anti-internet freedom because you can't enforce a ban on porn without going full Chinese authoritarian state style internet control. So nobody wants that. So you're just gonna have to that ship has sailed decades ago.
It's just like how the Nazis, they say, oh, they want to kill anyone who's disabled or
don't get me started with that shit.
Yeah, don't get started with World War II stuff, okay?
Oh god, I fucking hate Animat 505. That guy is such a fucking mess.
No, you want to hear something even worse though? What pisses me off though? There'll be the people out there who literally think, hey guys, it's cool to be a Puritan. They killed a lot of people during the what was the Hamilton witch fire? Do we really want to repeat that nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I think that's the whole thing about our hobbies is that
yeah,
it's a fact, and the thing is that when it comes to things like our hobbies, the thing is that at the very least, the right is less censorious, but they're still censorious to a certain extent. So it's like, what are we supposed to do? Yeah. Our hobbies are always going to be under threat. Whether it's just going to, the only thing that's going to change over time is who's doing it.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of miss the days when the only people we had to really worry about were the crazy saying, "Oh, this is satanic."
Yeah, at the very least, back before the whole SJW thing, there was actually a political party that represented us. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Now we're basically third party, and we're just basically pushed to the side, and we're either going to be controlled under a religious rule or commies. So what are we going to do?
The thing is,
what we got to do is we got to come up with technological solutions that get them that go underground, like kind of like the dark web and stuff like that. So
but
that's our future.
But here's the thing, though, Shadow. You still got to have people like that, and we still have people who's not in the underground. Like, I would do it. Only problem is I'm only 27, and I'm pretty sure some people here can do it if they're around the age of 35, right? Because I remember to be able to be president of the United States, you had to.
No, I'm not talking about president. The thing is, the president really isn't the problem. It's for as far as what the kind of laws that are that'd be Congress. So you either way, our hobbies are going to be under attack basically no matter what. So we have to basically come up with technological solutions to this.
But I was also saying we could do the approach when it comes to how Japan prime minister is doing it. Because there is hope for that. There is a way, and there is proof.
There is some hope, but the thing is that we came from a kind of a Christian like heritage, I guess. So
You're talking
it's
to a
going to
guy
be very
who-
hard to get rid of that censorious nature. In Japan, the only the censorious idiots in Japan were influenced by the West. That's the thing, is that was Western influence. That's basically came from us. So it's basically us trying. It's kind of like the missionaries, you know. And last time we tried that, guess what? Japan closed itself off completely. That could happen again.
I'll be right back.
Japan could just
No,
close
exactly.
themselves off again.
No, and that's the problem. Is that
This is just fucking.
issue?
This is just a headache waiting to happen. Let's focus on something else, you guys, because you know I'm just sick and tired of this political bull crap.
Yeah.
This is why I
kinda
don't
think
talk
it
about
was.
politics on my channel ever.
Yeah.
So, you know, but basically, I just don't really freaking have the time or the energy to deal with freaking politics because basically that's just a nightmare and a half.
Yeah, I just want to protect our hobbies from any kind of influence from that
I know,
sphere.
I totally understand, but you know, I just can't really sit idly by just watching our freedoms actually being under attack and under that stuff. But it's just, you know, it's just like a can of worms that you just don't want to open.
Like what I want is, I just want to go back to the days where people where Senator and Kagra could flourish and not have all these corporate corpos coming down on them.
Yeah, but
I miss Senator and Kagra. You know, that series.
No, you're
yeah,
not
true.
wrong.
But also, I'd like to interject. I have this to say. Basically, let's not forget we also have the midterms coming up in November.
Oh shit! That's why I keep getting these damn ads. They drive me insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
I keep forgetting about that stuff.
I guess my strategy is destroy the wokies, and then we can deal with what comes after.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing: we need to actually get rid of all these like freaking do nothing Democrats, random Republicans, all these other people.
Yeah.
And here that's why I think that are the real solution to this is going to be technological, specifically in the cryptocurrency and the dark web's anonymous space, because that would be guarantee against any kind of government censorship is technological advancement in the crypto space, because that just bypasses Visa, bypasses MasterCard. Right now, most of the problem is coming from private companies. So I think if we can focus on that, honestly.
Yeah, that's the point. What I'm trying to say is that overall, I feel like we need to convince the general audience, the normies. If we can convince the normies to be on our side, and more people to
if our country had to start like Japan had, where they didn't have the religious baggage, I would say yeah, but we're kind of tied to that old fundamentalist Protestant view. So,
but here's why I disagree though. The problem is though, like for example, I understand where you're coming from though, Shadow. Hear me out. I understand where you're coming from, but we have to ask ourselves this big question: is people in the United States really like going to be fundamentally like religious? Like, yes, porn is bad, but nowadays we have the left, spreading all propaganda, right? I think it's possible to bring it to them, and maybe more normies might understand. Yes, it's gonna be awkward and it's gonna be cringe, but let's be real. I'd rather have the normie on our side than some religious nut job, to be honest.
No, are we? No, what I'm saying is, are the normies more aligned with the religious nut jobs? That's the thing. Is I think that I don't know. That's why I think the solution is going to be technological in the long term.
Yeah, this is why we actually.
And I think Japan would do well to allow cryptocurrency payments on their sites like DL site. They really need to allow, because they did for a time, but I think the Japanese government instead introduced this other thing that they wanted them to use for that, and I think that's basically Japan only. So
yeah,
which sucks, because if anything that we could use to get around it, Japan wants to introduce their own solution, which is Japan only, so we can't have it.
I mean, that's just that. But what also sucks is when these idiots do that kind of shit, where they have it where they don't give us the Japan games, whatever. Is what they're trying to do is send a message, massive air quotes, mind you, to Japan saying,
well,
"See,
the-
no one likes this. See." It's like, no,
Yeah,
here we
that's the
are.
thing.
We want this.
Yeah, we want it, but we're just not allowed to have it. And the thing, and the thing is even things where we are allowed to buy, like things like DL site and all that. Just hold phone calls. Oh, it's a scammer. The thing is the real issue, I think, is that the next shoe to drop in the whole censorship thing is gonna be the payment processors. And I've been saying this for a long time, is that we need an alternative to Visa and MasterCard. The thing is that it's such a, because it's like a choke point, Operation Choke Point like thing.
Okay, guys. We talked so much about it, but we didn't talk much about the Vic situation going on in the Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Vic Mignona.
Vic. You know that. I saw what happened. I'm like, this stupid cunt literally.
Hey, what?
Okay,
Okay,
Vic is under attack yet again, huh?
I had to eat lunch with Dad. What did I miss?
Oh, we were talking about the whole payment processor issue and how but the thing is that Vic Mignona, that was just insane.
Oh,
that he lost his appeal.
Sorry.
Yeah, the reason is they don't know one thing for sure. An appeal means if this case want to go move forward, but what happened is, here's the thing. It's like they think, oh, he's guilty. No, he's not. And Monica didn't win anything as well.
But anyways, Mr. A, sorry I was gone. Once again I had to eat lunch with Dad.
Damn it, Shadow.
Besides, freaking, if this actually goes to the Texas Supreme Court, I don't know if it could go either way, but
Yeah.
Damn it, Shadow.
And the point is it's like these KV idiots doesn't understand. It's basic. They don't understand. I think about civics a lot, because here's the thing: in courts, they have to realize if the appeal goes through, that means the case go forward. That's the thing. If it's not going forward, that's basically, let's say it's either placed away or shelved out.
The problem is that the anti-slap, I think we need anti-slap, but it needs to be tweaked so that it needs to be more taken out of the judge's hands, and they need some kind of more objective criteria that the judge can't use her discretion like Chup did.
Yeah, the anti-slap needs to be abolished, to be honest.
Well, it needs to be modified to where like. It needs to be weakened a bit, because cases like Vic's should have gone forward, because I think there is something there. Just if they can't hear the case at all, you can't really get justice.
That's what I'm trying to say is like they should just bring back the whole.
But you got to realize the reason why anti-slap was there in the first place.
They should actually freaking try to tweak the TCPA as well. Because that's what really screwed it over.
Yeah, I mean, because like, you guys can understand my perspective. Like, they should just be like, hey, we need to be careful, like trying to ruin this man's life. He's innocent until guilty, like presumed innocence. What I'm trying to say. Like,
but these people believe that if you're a man, you're guilty by default, and we have to make sure that you are still guilty and that the woman is innocent. Right.
Situation.
And the thing is that they're willing. That this is the problem I have with these wokies. Is that if they see you as someone who they don't want in the industry, they're willing to lie. They're willing to just make stuff up. And they're following the whole destroy a man now kind of thing. It's where they use lies and then they fall back on the listen and believe third wave feminist view to make sure that they're never questioned.
And one thing to also out there too is the fact that, like what Senna was saying, is they go by people who they don't like. Case in point, they don't like Vic Mignon. That's why when he was falsely accused, they were going at him like, no, rabid. But when Damian Mills is outed for being an actual fucking pedo, where they at? What? Hey, you hear that? It sounds like crickets chirping.
It's all because they're just protecting the pedals. All I'm gonna say is people defending pedals, they deserve the same death sentence as the pedophiles.
There you go.
Yeah. Kick Vic is just I don't understand it. They're
Yeah, to be honest, it's like
they're still going at it.
To
It's
be honest,
been years.
to be honest, like what's going on in the justice system is because whoever voted these idiots to make laws this happen. Well, it's time to put our frustration to the ballot box. That's the thing. Or start a campaign.
That's the thing is that that's a Texas state law thing. So only people in Texas can really influence that. That's for people of Texas to decide.
Yeah.
I know some people in myself who live in the state of Texas can help resolve the issue.
And
Yeah. I mean, you could try to influence them, but the thing is only the Texans get to decide.
Yeah, I'm talking about
not the rest of us.
Oh yeah.
Not the rest of the country.
Yeah,
but yeah.
The point is it's all because there are laws basically.
Supporting Vic any way we can. I mean, sure, he's got his own dummy studio. We need
his own studio. Yeah, that right there is how we solve this in the end. Is what we need is we need to as you know. Again, this is why I know I shouldn't have talked about it for as long as I did, but the whole payment processor thing is, if Vic has his own studio, will they go after his payment processors? Will they try to deplatform his payments? That's the worry I have.
Yeah.
Is if because we know that the banks have gone woke and stuff like that. So that's why we need to push back against any kind of attempt to do that.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that because they control e-commerce.
Yeah, but what these people are doing is completely unconstitutional, and it goes against freaking. And also, you need to actually go through anti-monopolization laws and anti-partnership laws and stuff like that.
Sony.
Hey, what's up, dude? He's just actually stopped by to say hi, and it's good to actually have you back, dude. I mean, freaking, just keep that content going, man. It'll grow. Besides,
because what I think is going to happen is if Vic could become successful, Vic needs to start to try to make as much as he can, save it. Don't spend it all. Save it, because what he's going to need to be prepared to start his own bank, his own payment processor, his own web host, his own he's probably have to lay his own fiber at some point, because a lot of these companies are publicly traded, and you know what happens there, ESG. So they like to kick people off who are socially unpalatable.
Hold up, guys. Quick plug. Basically, if anybody has not actually subscribed to Deathwatch, please go check him out. Channel. He usually does a lot of anti-leftist political stuff. So basically, he's my go-to guy for politics.
I'm there.
We need someone like that, because yes, the right will die, or people
honestly, I honestly, because Vic is probably going to just be a normal anime studio. Probably won't do any kind of hentai or anything. In that case, if his studio isn't going to do any hentai stuff or whatnot, what he needs is he can use some of the stuff that the right has set up to bypass PayPal and that. He might be able to go through Parallel Economy and Rumble's cloud that they're starting up. So he might be able to do that for now. While he's just doing general, but if he ever wants to go into hentai or anything, he's gonna have his own cloud, his own everything, because of how things have been lately.
Yeah, and the other.
But I think he's probably just gonna do general anime anyway. He's probably not gonna do hentai or anything. So he does have options.
Well,
Just like
the one
to
thing
decide
is
why,
we
though.
need to support him because, like
Yeah.
Sona was saying, this is a shoe-in to winning this. Because I guarantee you, he's not going to
He-
vocalize any of the content.
Yeah, he.
Okay.
What's going to happen is I think he's going to go after the stuff. He's going. I think he's going to go after the stuff that's too niche for Sony to even consider licensing.
Yeah.
The thing is that what he needs to do is he needs to preempt. He needs to preempt Sony because Sony likes to buy licenses in bulk and only pick a few out. I think that practice needs to end, and they
That's
should
true.
only be able to keep the licenses that they're using.
Not just that, but again, what business does fucking Sony have buying rights of anime when all they wanted to do was just, own it for shits and giggles and get rid
I
of
think
a-
they wanted to get rid of interspecies reviewers. Honestly, they wanted to get
true.
rid of that. They
that,
didn't like the fact that
this is
Strike
why-
Stuff Anime bought the license. They wanted that license back.
more than likely. Because again, these people are sad and pathetic.
Yeah, people
and
already
they-
bought.
Okay.
People who already bought the Blu-ray are just gonna pirate it.
Yeah.
There's just gonna be a bunch of piracy now because of that. Yeah, thanks
Okay,
a lot,
let me,
Sony. You just
Yeah.
enabled the pirates.
Okay, I want to say some suggestions. I know about supporting Vic is one thing. The other thing is we need to protect our cons as well. If you're going to any cons, just make sure if you know anyone who is kick Vic in real life, inform the police before going to any cons.
Mhm. Because
Yeah.
as I do, if they see Vic, they're going to do something.
Oh no,
something-
and also when it comes to anti-lolicons, if we see anti-lolicons in real life, I have a solution. You remember that girl when she has that sign? I'm just gonna, since I'm an artist, I should do this. I should have one of my characters put a sign up on a shirt, right, saying "Loot me." Who gives a shit with some? Who gives a shit?
There's this one drawing where they have a character with a sign saying "Drawings don't have human rights, fuckface."
No,
and I love that one too. I've seen it,
Yeah.
and I absolutely love it because, again, here you are trying to cry away fucking drawing. Meanwhile, again, and I said it once, I'll say it again, you have Maps IRL as a YouTube channel that you're not attacking right now.
Don't
Yeah.
even start.
That should be their if they actually cared about the whole pedophilia issue, that's the first thing they would attack, but they don't.
No,
No,
it's also
because
the
I
same
mean,
thing with Facebook. Like, think about the monster.
Why isn't Claymore on their ass? Why isn't Fat Boy on their ass? Why isn't Blow Blacks and Nicholas Diorio and all that? Why aren't they on that person rather than trying to take down anime
Because-
fans?
Because
Yeah.
you gotta remember, it's
They're
possible.
attention whores because they don't focus on those types of people. But sooner or later, if I actually get known enough, I'll actually be sure to go after those people as well. But for now, I just want to focus on anime, manga, video games, and indie comics.
No,
Yeah,
and that's
Honestly, there's a reason why I bought Blade Devil. It's because I wanted to support the person. If it wasn't for the fact that it was a creator that was trying to succeed and pull themselves out, like try to compete with all these idiots, and I probably would have just wouldn't have bought it if it wasn't for the fact that it was an anti-woke person, Raging Golden Eagle, who was making it.
yeah.
The problem
I
is,
support RG myself, and that's
And
why
RGE is the one that presented to me like the case about the payment processors. That was RGE. And all that. He was calling this stuff out a while ago that the payment processors were going to be like the final boss, was going to be MasterCard.
Yeah, and part of the thing I'm also gonna say this: if I ever do get successful as an artist, I'm gonna use that money. If someone be like, okay, if someone asks me to commissions, I'm gonna look into what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna donate that money to actually help kids out, like these dumb bastard ass antis.
yeah.
Because it's
What I would do if I got big enough, I would try to save up and make my own bank. Like if I could, if the things you need like $1.3 million plus a bunch of other things.
Shut
which, no one will ever get that big.
Okay, hold on, guys. Like I said, basically, this is why I actually wanted to, help the Bleeding Chow actually make Explosion Comics.
Yeah.
Because
provided we meet each other in real life.
Exactly.
As long as the government stays out, we can make our own stuff. And there's already innovation in the payment processor sphere. The problem is that they're still dependent on Visa and MasterCard. If we can find an alternative to those two things, then we're home free. Then
And
we're home
one
free because
question?
on the if we can bypass the duopoly.
Is Explosion Comics literally just the two of us, me and Mr. A?
I mean,
Perhaps.
basically, anybody else who actually has any ideas to actually contribute, like, with the comics or otherwise, we're more than happy to just have other people come join us and become Explosion
Yeah.
Masters.
Yeah.
That sounds
To be
fun.
fair, though, I do want to try to explore the world writing. If my handwriting, if my writing skill isn't so shit.
Even
But-
though, like, I need to get back on working on my graphic novel series, which I have a couple of chapters to finish for my first book. Then I have to look for a good artist.
Yeah, and I'm still working on my secret grimdark graphic novel.
To be fair,
So-
We all know you're working on
The point is like with the comic book series, like we've seen how Marvel and DC, they don't do everything well. They just want to try to find something to appeal the audience. Like they don't even make their own original character.
No,
Yeah,
and that's what me and Didi were always saying too, is the whole we get sick and tired of these retcon ideas of a character who was straight from the get-go being turned LGBT for the sake of tokenism. We want original fucking characters. That's why we enjoy the Owl House, we enjoy Hazard Hotel, Hannibal
Yeah.
Boss, and so many other animes and
Yeah.
whatever else.
But also, allow me to share a quote from J.R.R. Tolkien. He says that evil cannot create; it can only corrupt and destroy.
Yeah.
exactly,
I'm right.
There you
exactly. No, exactly, and that's why.
And to be honest, it's all this SJWs are basically the big middle finger from the soccer moms. To be honest.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, a
Well,
lot
yeah.
of the soccer moms do vote Democrat, so they're kind of aligned in a way.
And
They're destroying our.
I wouldn't be surprised if the soccer moms were actually also Karens, like secretly.
Yep, and
Yeah.
what's funny is that people often some Karens are racist, but I think most of them are actually aligned with the SJW crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna call it good here. So,
Well,
Yeah.
hold on, Mr. A, one last thing. So I was waiting for this to, kind of be over, that we were all hearing stuff. A tragedy has happened with our good friend Dee Dee. I don't want to go into
Yeah.
details because it's her business.
We already know
to...
that.
Okay, good. Can we please take a moment of silence out of respect for her?
All right.
well,
All
all right, let's go.
right.
Okay.
Well, also, Didi, on the one chance that you're watching this, we are all sorry for your loss.
Yes.
And yeah, with that being said, let's continue forward.
Yeah.
All right, let's get our phone goodbyes out of the way. So, basically, we made our moment of silence, and also let's see what's the last one on.
Yeah. I will say this. I'll say this. Like, if you have an artwork, continue innovating it, make it better. If someone tells you art shit, laugh at them and continue keep it going.
Yeah, punch him in the dick.
That's all I can say.
All right.
All right, Cerno.
Yeah. The thing I want to say is be vigilant. Make sure that we can keep our hobbies legal, for one thing, and another thing is we need to find alternatives to the payment processors. Visa and MasterCard are basically the duopoly that can dictate what people can and can't do with their art. If they want to make money on it. So if we can prevent the whole credit card choke point thing, and third of all, if we can get past the whole credit card choke point thing, we can make our own industry from the ground up without the wokies, and we can just rebuild everything, and and retake our entire hobbies. We have to make sure that we can get payment services though before we can actually do that.
All right, let's wrap this up. Anyway, Shiny, you're up.
All right. Since I know I already said about the comics and everything, but with hobbies at the moment, since what Cyrano said, as even if you're a con organizer, be aware that if these wokies came into the con causes scene trying to falsely accuse any of your staff or attendees or guests, the main problem is don't give them to their demands. If they give them to their demands, they're basically gonna go for more.
Absolutely, kick them out.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
this is what happens with the last convention, which I was working with, and guess what? I kind of stopped going there, and they'll end up having like more of these wokies begging for more. So that's all
Anyway,
I'm saying.
Dio?
That's all I'll say. So
Okay,
don't forget,
Dio.
work hard, get good, everyone.
All right, Dio, you're up.
Alright, well, Heathens was great. It was fantastic. Now, Bridget is still a femboy. Eat it, wokies. And Testament is a male who is genderless. He uses male pronouns anyway. He's not non-binary. Yet again, eat it, take the L, you virgin neckbeards. And lastly, just for what we were all saying, switch to indie, support Japanese creators, and remember to let your desires burn brightly.
Oh yeah,
All right,
and oh,
Geek
there's
Freak.
one. Oh well.
We can actually
Okay.
cover it tomorrow there, so you know. Besides, Geek Freak, you're up.
All right. Thanks for having me on here again, and hopefully I'll be able to get my say in next time.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Shadow.
I guess stick with the shadows because at the end of the day, the darkness is always with you. There's this one topic I want to talk about today, but since that is not the topic, I'll save it for tomorrow. But TLDR, rest in peace, Infinity Train again.
Anyway, all my heathens, degenerates, and otakus, thank you all for actually coming aboard and actually dealing with my craziness as usual. And as always, just remember these 4 things: respect the wife as a fan service, enjoy your fandoms, embrace your degeneracy as long as it's legal, doesn't harm anyone else or yourself, and also enemies freedom. Until the next time, Mr. 343 saying God, anime, mecha, and waifu, fucking speed.
Later, guys.